This is packet 7, page 8, question 1. It says the function of x is equal to log base 2 of x. And what we're trying to find is the domain and range, the end behavior for x's, and x-intercept, asymptote, and we're also going to look at points for these graphs as well. So when we go to these graphs here, since we know that an exponential grows from the horizontal asymptote up this way, a log base 2 graph will start down here at the bottom and work its way that way. So as of right now, the only thing that we have changing here is our base. Our base is 2. We don't have any horizontal shift. We don't have any vertical shift over here, and we don't have an a value that we're worrying about. So this is just the parent graph right here. So we look at it. We're going to go to calculator, and that's what our graph is supposed to look like, log base 2 of x. If I hit Control T, it'll give me a set of points. As I get closer to 0, I get undefined because you cannot pass the asymptote, which is a vertical line, x equals 0. So we have 1, 0. We have 2, 1. Then we keep going until we get to another point, 4, 2. And then we have 8, 3. And we keep going and we get coordinate points, and they just keep increasing and increasing and increasing. So we have this graph right here. And it looks something like this. It keeps increasing and goes down like that until it approaches the asymptote. Well, we know that we don't have a d value. The d value here is 0, so we know that the asymptote is x equals 0. And it's the vertical line that this graph cannot pass over. So with our domain, we have an asymptote, and we go out to infinity. So we have 0 out to infinity. Our range goes forever down and forever up. So that's going to be negative infinity, positive infinity. Now here we're going backwards as what we've done before. As the y value goes up to infinity, as the y value goes up that way, the x value is going to go out that way. So that means that this will approach infinity. And then as the y value goes to negative infinity down this way, the x value will approach 0. X-intercept. If we go to our x-intercept, I'm going to get rid of, or actually I can do 0, menu 6, 1. And I can choose this graph right here, go to the left, go to the right, 1, 0. And this is what my graph looks like. I found these points right here. I just took 0, started with 0, and I can go, negative. I can go all the way up to the asymptote, and I go to the right until I run out of points. We go to the next graph. This is a logarithmic graph that increases as x increases, y increases. So the next graph is this one right here, log base 1/3 of x, and this is what happens when a graph decreases as x increases. So log base 1/3 of x, that graph looks like this. And if I want to find some good points, I'm going to hit Control T. And I see that if I go past 0 for the x, it's undefined. That means that's where my asymptote is. I have 1, 0. I have 3, negative 1. And I keep going until I have another good point, 9, negative 2. And then after that, there's nothing else I can graph. I'm also going to find the x-intercept as well. I'm going to hit Control T. And that right there, I'm going to hit menu 6, 1. Go to the left, boom, right, boom, 1, 0. So I've graphed it. There's the points. You can put a table if you want. I'm not going to waste time with that. And we start up here. And then we curve ourselves out over here as far as you can. And we have our asymptote because there's no d value. The asymptote is at 0. We also found that out by looking at our table and said x is 0 is undefined. So x equals 0 is the asymptote. Domain goes from 0 to infinity. The range goes from bottom to top, so that's negative infinity to positive infinity. As the y value is going up to infinity, as y is going up, what's happening with x? The x values are stopping, and so it's approaching the asymptote 0. Here, as the y value decreases, so as the y value comes down, the x value is going forever that direction. So we're going to say infinity here. The next kind of question I can ask is, what is the maximum or minimum value of this graph between 1 and 4? That means if x is 1, if x is 4, or any number between these two, okay, you got to find out what the maximum y value is. So you're going to say y equals a number and y equals a number. So the max is the highest and the minimum is the lowest. So let's go back to the graph and figure out where the highest point is and where the lowest point is. So here, if I hit menu, 5, 1, 0, enter, it's asking 0, enter, and I can't put 0, enter, I just have to put 1. Okay, we're looking at our numbers between 1 and 4. So at 1, our y value is 0. And then it keeps decreasing as you go this direction over here. So that means 4 has got to be the minimum. So I type in 4. Takes it over there at negative 1.26. So here, when I go back to my notes page, I know that the higher number is 0, negative 1.26 is the lower number. So the maximum, when x is 1, you have 0. Your minimum, when x is 4, you have your y values equal to negative 1.26. If you want to find a table, you hit Control-T in your calculator and find good points that match the graph and the appropriate number units that's given to you.